Hey, and welcome to Board of Life News for March 14th. Today I'm going to talk about Catan History's Rise of the Incas, Mage Knight Ultimate Edition, Teotihuacan City of the Gods, Magic the Gathering, Heroes of Dominaria, and the Kickstarter for Dinosaur Island. Let's get to it. Catan History's Rise of the Incas is a new game in the kind of Catan mechanical setting. This is kind of following up last year's very well-received Game of Thrones Catan. In this one, in addition to the standard rules of Catan, you have to decline your civilization twice, and the first one to rebuild the third time wins. So it's a thing where, like, once your civilization declines, someone else can come in and rebuild on your territories, getting those resources. So you have to kind of time when your civilization is going to rise throughout time, which is a pretty interesting mechanic, kind of the timing short game gains versus long game stuff. So interested to see how this one goes. Mage Knight Ultimate Edition was just announced from WizKids. This is going to be the very popular game designed by Vlaada Chvátil a couple years back, Mage Knight, and it is going to be the base game plus all 3 expansions combined in. It's going to have kind of an integrated rulebook for everything. It's going to include 5 new cards, and it's going to include miniatures with alternative paint jobs. I think the MSRP is like $125 or something, so it's pretty expensive. So I don't know if this is a thing you would buy if you already own all that stuff or own some of the stuff. And Mage Knight's a pretty heavy game to just jump all the way into, so I don't know if a lot of people are going to be buying this new. I don't know. I mean, it's still a very popular game. It's very well received, so it makes sense that they're making kind of a new edition of it, but it is a pretty hefty price tag. This is due out in September. Teotihuacan City of the Gods is a new game coming out from NSKN Games, designed by Daniel Tascini. He was co-designer of Tzolk'in the Mayan Calendar and The Voyages of Marco Polo, both incredibly well-received kind of mid to heavyweight Euro games. I guess Voyages of Marco Polo is pretty solid mid. Tzolk'in's mid-heavy. I'm a huge fan of Tzolk'in. Voyages of Marco Polo I thought was pretty good. I know a lot of people absolutely love that game, though. So in this, it says you're going to command a force of worker dice which grows in strength with every move. So it sounds a lot like kind of combining the dice placement workers of Voyages of Marco Polo with kind of the track. The longer you let something ride, the more beneficial it is from Tzolk'in. So I'm super, super excited about this one. It is due out at Spiel this year. Magic the Gathering, Heroes of Dominaria board game is due out from WizKids later this year. I'm pretty excited about this because it sounds pretty Euro-y, especially as far as kind of like Magic the Gathering stuff goes. It says, explore the ancient lands, build sites, rediscover lost artifacts, and confront the sinister cabal to gain resources, which that sounds like a Euro game to me, which I love. They've been trying to do this like board game version for a couple times. Last year there was Explorer of Ixalan? I don't know. I don't play Magic, so I don't know that lore. Anyways, which, like, I heard nothing about it, good or bad or anything. It made no splash, which is crazy for a thing connected to Magic. And then 2015, Arena of the Planeswalkers, which had a lot of promise, kind of building on Heroescape, but with Magic the Gathering, but they kind of botched the release in that there wasn't enough land and there wasn't enough variability, so it kind of just flopped a little bit. But I mean, obviously this can be done, like Lords of Waterdeep, when you look at making a Euro game based off Dungeons & Dragons, is an incredibly good game. So hopefully they're able to accomplish that with this one. This week's Kickstarter is for Dinosaur Island from Pandasaurus Games, designed by Jonathan Gilmour and Bryan Lewis. Dinosaur Island came out last year. It was a huge hit. It kind of rocketed up the charts. It was on a lot of top 10 lists, nominated for a couple Golden Geeks. So it was just very well received. So in it, you are building a dinosaur park. It's basically Jurassic Park, the game, where you're trying to manage your attractions, but then also your threat level at the same time. So this Kickstarter has a couple different things. You can get the base game that came out last year with the Kickstarter exclusive stuff that you would miss out if you didn't back the Kickstarter. It also has an expansion, which amongst other things adds a 5th player. It's called Dinosaur Island Totally Liquid. And it also has Duelosaur Island, which is the standalone spin-off 2-player game, 2-player card game. So you can back it. There's a bunch of different levels, depending on kind of what you want. If you want all 3, if you just want 2 of them, whatever. Yeah, so excited about that one. All right, that's the news for this week. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to this page and follow me on social media. I'm at Chris Bryan Games on Instagram and Twitter. And if you wouldn't mind checking out my Patreon, there's some cool exclusive different levels for exclusive content if you're interested in that stuff. There are links below. Also, as I mentioned now, this is a podcast. Something went wrong last week, and for some reason, the episode didn't post, so I'm going to repost it today, and then also post today's episode, so I apologize for that. But if you're interested in that, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast feed. This week's question, again, I forgot to ask a question until like 6:30 this morning, and luckily Shut Up and Sit Down, came through, and so yeah, they say, 2 expansions to Flamme Rouge coming out in the next 12 months. What a time to be alive. Are you still playing? So, first off, this is news to me. I only know of the Flamme Rouge Peloton expansion that just came out, so I don't know if they're talking about 2 more expansions or just 1 more expansion, but I haven't heard anything about this. I looked and I Googled and I couldn't find anything, so that's exciting news if there's another expansion coming out. As far as still playing, Flamme Rouge was my favorite game of 2016, and probably in my top 5 games of all time. Huge fan of it. And yes, I'm still playing. Like, I'm not currently playing just because basically this year I've only gotten to play Charterstone and then really small games, because we've been doing a Charterstone campaign. I've been traveling so much, and I've been doing just tons and tons of game design work, which has taken a lot of my gaming time. So yes, but I haven't played it in a couple months, which I want to fix. Really excited about a lot of the stuff that Flamme Rouge Peloton added. I would love to get like a race league together and do kind of like the circuit that they've designed for it. I haven't gotten a chance to do any of that yet, but I still absolutely love that game. I love the design, all of that stuff. So thanks for the question. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next week.